I could never, I would get arrested, I would get kicked out, something would happen bad. I can't go to these and listen to these people talk. If anybody unauthorized, if any of his competitors out there that don't have the industry backing try to work on a boat, your boat's going to explode. You cannot work on your boat yourself because it will explode. You cannot have your uncle work on your boat because it will explode.
Hey everybody, how's it going? So when it came to that boat testimony, I've been getting a lot of criticism regarding my responses to his opposition to the repair bill. I was not able to pick apart what he was saying because I don't know anything about boats. I don't know anything about boat engines or car engines or anything like that. So I played it safe with regards to criticizing that testimony. However, Paul just had a chance to listen to it today. He has been a mechanic for 20 years, and he had quite a bit to say about it, and I will let you listen to that.
Welcome. Thank you for having us here. We're talking about this. Chairwoman Harburg, is it Chairwoman? Is it Doherty?
Daughtry.
Close enough. Thank you. And members of the committee, for the opportunity to share my perspective on the important piece of legislation. My name's Rob Brown. I live in Randolph. I am a small business owner here locally. I'm also a certified tech. I have two of my certified technicians with me today. I'm extremely fortunate to be able to enjoy the outdoors through my business, Clark Marine, which owns and operates 3 locations across Maine, Manchester, and Monmouth and Belgrade. We service between 2,800 and 3,000 boats, mostly locally, and engines each season, and we help to keep families out on the water, enjoying the precious time we have each year to use their boats. I offer this background because I can testify firsthand the effects of the so-called right to repair legislation would have on my business and my customers. Marine engines can become very serious liability if modified incorrectly. It is absolutely critical that certified technicians make any modifications or repairs to these engines, because if a technician who is not up to date with manufacturer repair and or service practices, they could unwittingly be putting the user and their families at risk when they are out on the water. Even something as simple as installing the wrong spark plug can cause irreparable damage to the engine. Several times during the year, we'll have boats brought in for service that have had incorrect spark plugs installed, many times by non-certified shops. In many cases, by just installing the incorrect or will-fit spark plug, can cause damage, performance, and also make the engine non-compliant with emission standards. So, when we inspect the engine, we can even smell raw gasoline residue that has been built up. Anyone can change spark plugs, but only a certified technician can understand why it matters to each specific engine. This is just one simple, but though common mistake that we see coming from non-compliant technicians. Another would be will fit. Somebody brought up starters. If you put a non-compliant starter in a stern drive, that becomes a very high explosion hazard. So, and it's done by somebody going to Napa, picking up a wool starter, and that's where the problem begins.
What are your thoughts as a professional mechanic for the past 20 years?
Well, so far I've only made it 3 minutes and 20 into it, and so I started out this day with a headache, and it just came back with a vengeance just listening to this dribble. This is unbelievable what this guy is saying. Marine engines, I don't have much experience with marine engines. I've only worked on 1 or 2 of them, but the inboard marine engine is a Chevy 350. It's the same thing. It has a better crankshaft, it's got better piston rings, it's got internal components that are built for more longevity than a car motor does. But other than that, the basic mechanics of the engine, it's still an internal combustion engine. The same exact engine you would put into a hot rod. It's a Chevy 350. This guy is saying that the thing that made me stop, and I couldn't go any farther, he's saying that if you go to Napa and pick up a starter for your boat engine and put it in, it's an explosion hazard. How does a starter make a motor explode? How does a will fit starter? So if I go get any brand starter and put it in, it's gonna make an engine explode? It's not gonna. What, you didn't shim it right or something? Oh my god, I don't. I want clarification on that. I want to talk to this guy. I want clarification. How does a starter make an engine explode? You would have cars exploding everywhere. People put in the shittiest starters that you would. Oh my god. I have a good armature place by me that rebuilds my starters for me, but you buy some A1 Cardone starter or something like that, you don't know where it came from, you don't know who rebuilt it, you don't know. It doesn't explode. It works just fine. Oh my god. And then spark plugs.
Paul, you're only 3 minutes into a 16-minute video.
Yes. And then the spark plug thing. Okay, fine. I agree with him slightly on the spark plug thing. You can put the wrong, like, he goes back and forth with this. I gotta medicate. Hold on. I need Advil. He goes on to this thing about spark plugs and how putting in the wrong spark plugs can damage or destroy a motor. True. 100% true. But then he goes on and says that putting in will fit spark plugs, he keeps going with this will fit stuff. So I got a 98 Dodge Ram 1500 pickup. I could buy Autolite spark plugs. I could buy NGK spark plugs. I could buy Crossfire spark plugs. There's a myriad of spark plugs I could buy. They all will fit. Now, they're not the ones that came factory stock. What is it? Champion is in a Dodge, I think it is. They're not Champion spark plugs, but Autolite will run just fine in there. NGK, maybe not NGK, they're more towards the import market, but they still will run fine. And he's talking about when you take out the wrong spark plugs, you could smell a buildup of raw gasoline. I don't care what spark plugs you have. I can have the exact Champion spark plugs that came in my Dodge pickup, and you take the spark plugs out, you're going to smell raw gas because there's raw gas in the cylinders. There is always residue of raw gas, and it doesn't build up. You can't build up a residue of raw gas. You might build up a residue of carbon deposits or something like that. But does this guy even understand the 4 cycles of a combustion engine? The squish bang or suck squish bang blow. Does he even understand this? That every time it blows, everything's gone. The cylinder is clean. It's clear. There's nothing left in it. It sucks in new. Oh my god,
Paul, you're only 3 minutes and 20 seconds into the video. There's still another about 13 minutes left to go.
I could never go to these. I would get arrested, I would get kicked out, something would happen bad. I can't go to these and listen to these people talk like this.
The thing is, what I find is difficult is I'm not allowed to speak until it's my turn. You have to stay silent, and if they speak after you, you don't have a chance to rebut. So it is painful.
That's not fair that the opposition always goes after the people that are that are pro this, because they bring up all of these points that are totally false and totally fictitious, and it's not fair that we can't address them in open session to these people that these aren't mechanics that are sitting on this panel here. They might not understand that he is talking total bullshit and total horseshit.
The guy that was most interested in hearing what I had to say ran a convenience store. Business owner, but, not mechanic. But, Paul, there's more. There's another 13 minutes. Eh? Paul?
Okay.
Boaters depend on their equipment to operate properly when they're enjoying their time on the water. But this bill could cause boaters to be stranded out on the water without a working engine to get them back home. This would damage the confidence of consumers, put manufacturers and dealers in my industry. Recreational boating is the largest economic contributor to the outdoor recreation industry in Maine, contributing nearly $3 billion to the state's GDP. As we all know, there is no shortage of ways to enjoy Maine's beautiful outdoors. Introducing this legislation will push consumers out of our market and into other forms of recreation, dramatically affecting seasonal businesses like mine. Simply put, certified technicians provide insight that non-certified dealers cannot. They are educated, experienced experts in their field. When we want something fixed that would affect our lives, we go to someone who is trained in the field to repair it. Why then would we pass a bill that would potentially put boaters and their families at risk? Furthermore, as an industry, we are striving to give the consumer a better experience by having certified technicians work on specific engines and keep them out on the water and spending less time in the shop. I appreciate your consideration of these concerns and I respectfully ask the committee to oppose LD 1977. Thank you.
So he's talking about certified versus non-certified. So my experience is from automotive. So I don't know boating if things like Yamaha or Evinrude or something like that, do they provide all of their technical documentation like all the automotive manufacturers do? And he's going on about this certified versus non-certified. Before I was a certified ASE mechanic, I was a non-certified, just Joe Schmo working on cars. I did the same good job that I did before I got certified than once I was certified. Getting certified didn't make me know any more. It just verified that I know what I know. You don't go through training to become ASE certified. You just have to prove that you can pass the test, which they're ridiculously convoluted and hard to do. But so, if somebody in the viewer is anything to do with boating, I would love to know, does Yamaha, does Evinrude, does any of these companies, do they make any of this stuff available, or do they only make it available to certified technicians and certified repair facilities? Because he's acting as if you can only take your Mercedes-Benz to a Mercedes-Benz mechanic in a Mercedes-Benz dealership because they are the only ones that are going to know anything about your car. Well, in the automotive industry and everything else, it's not true, because I have all the information for a Mercedes-Benz, I have all the wiring diagrams, I have all the torque specifications, it's all available. So I don't know if boating is really that different. Okay, he's talking about a starter burning a boat down to the ground. I can see that as a possibility if there are starters on the market out there that are so badly made. A starter handles like 600 amps of current to be able to turn this motor over and get it started. So if the windings in that motor are so badly made, yes, it will catch fire. So that has nothing to do with right to repair. That has to do with poor part streams in the industry. Like, you need to identify these substandard parts and go and tell Napa, you cannot sell substandard parts that can harm somebody. Because certified or not certified, some certified shop is saving money and buying those substandard parts and installing them. It's not only going to be the non-certified people that are buying the shit parts. Anybody can buy shit parts.
We still have 10 minutes to go.
Oh my god. My headache is fighting my Advil. I don't understand how, if they are really, truly a small business in the industry, so me being in the automotive industry, even though we do have a lot of stuff that is available to us, there is a lot of stuff that is still hidden from us. I can take apart an ECM, I could take apart a BCM, I could take apart a gauge cluster, and I can fix things in it just from experience and knowing what's broken and stuff like that, seeing what's broken, physically broken. If there's something wrong with some body control module or something wrong with some heater HVAC module, I don't have schematics to it. I have to figure it out myself. I have to play around with it, test things, build a schematic to it to be able to fix this. If there was a way to get these schematics, you wouldn't have to throw away your body control module. You wouldn't have to throw away your engine control module just because it's not working right or something broke inside of it. You'd be able to pull the parts out and replace it, which I've done just because I can, just because I can figure out what's in there. I can't think that these small businesses could think that this would be bad for them. Because I'm sure Evinrude and Yamaha, for these outboard motors and stuff, they have hidden things. They have stuff that you can't fix, that you just have to order an entire new module instead of fixing the module. So how could it be a bad thing if we say, no, we want the information to be able to fix this stuff rather than throwing it away and buying a new one? I don't get it.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Brown, I'm glad that we've moved from cell phones and personal devices to boats. It helps me understand the situation a little bit more easily. Just a quick question for you. If a boat owner, for whatever reason, wants to take a shot at making a repair himself or herself, or going to somebody who has no idea what they're doing, don't they do that at their own risk? And how does that adversely affect you if they do take that step?
One, I think it adversely affects my industry every time Channel 13 has an article on where a boat has burned to the ground. They don't talk about how they put an insufficient starter in. People that are watching that only see the boat burning, and they hear about the fatalities.
When he said that when boats go on fire on the TV, people don't care why it happened, they just see a boat go on fire, and that it doesn't, and then they decide, I don't want to go on a boat when I'm on vacation. What does that have to do with right to repair?
He's very convolutedly trying to stitch together this narrative that if anybody unauthorized, if any of his competitors out there that don't have the industry backing try to work on a boat, your boat's going to explode. You cannot work on your boat yourself because it will explode. You cannot have your uncle work on your boat because it will explode. It needs to go to a factory authorized, trained personnel. Do they really? That's another thing I'd like to look up. Do they have training?
I'm also curious as to whether or not he's doing the work, because you know how you find things on boards that look disgusting and it makes you sick, and you may tell me what it is, and I know how to repeat what you said, because if you say, when he did U8900, there were a bunch of solder bridges. What if his employees see that people did stupid stuff and explain it to him, but he's just the owner, he doesn't actually do the work, so he's mixing up the words, and the point is still correct that a lot of unauthorized places do crappy work, but he's completely unable to actually explain how that is, and the more he goes into the details, the more it says things that are untrue and just make you rage.
Probably. There's probably a telephone thing going on here where he's repeating what somebody else said and he's not getting it right.
Yeah, like when we have conversations because you look at a board, it's disgusting, and you tell me. Imagine if I sold this company to some real estate salesperson, and then you said that to him, and then he tried to relay that to someone else, not having any knowledge. He's probably going to mix up words and things. Because the thing is, he sounds like a small business owner. He doesn't seem like he wrote his own script. He doesn't appear to me to be some sort of large corporate lobbyist. So I don't think where is the incentive to lie and make this stuff up?
I think it's non-competition. He doesn't want more competition. He doesn't want just anybody to be able to have access to this and go into competition with him. There was how many boating places were up here for this? I saw like 2 of them before I got fed up with it and turned it off, and now this is a guy I didn't see, so this is 3. So how many boating places are there? How many boating customers are there? They're afraid of competition. They don't want other shops to start working on boats. They have their little meat hooks into the industry in their little niche of the world, and they don't want anybody else moving in on that.
Will you come with me to the next hearing?
No, I won't be coming home.
Why?
I'll be in a holding cell. I'll be fined in contempt or something like that. No. I couldn't keep my mouth shut. I'd be escorted out. I'd have to wait for you at the hotel or something. No.
There you have it, folks. A lot of you asked in the comments, you said, can you have somebody else critique the automotive testimony because I have no experience with it. You're completely right. I am clueless when it comes to mechanic stuff, so hopefully this was enlightening to you. I gave the gentleman much more the benefit of the doubt in my original video because, again, when I don't know what I'm talking about, I try not to be a lobbyist and speak on it. Here you heard somebody with 20 years of mechanic and automotive experience speak out on it, and yeah, I probably should give them less benefit of the doubt. But that's it, and I'll see you all in the next video.